We didn't know if the house had burned down. I looked for anyone who could go down there. We found out that this fire went so quickly, so fast.
Now on the Crop 4 Morning News, a ring of fire continues to burn in Los Angeles County. We have the latest on the damages and containment numbers, including this wild new video of a fire tornado. Plus, in the wake of so much tragedy, Governor Gavin Newsom launches an investigation into why some fire hydrants in Los Angeles County have low water pressure.
Fires in LA are just a stark reminder of what can happen year-round. We have structure fires every day.
And as Southern California burns, there's growing concern in the East Bay after the closure of several Oakland fire stations. The action some neighbors are now taking.
Right now on the Crop 4 Morning News, breaking news. You have to see this new shocking video. Oakland police say a young woman was kidnapped in broad daylight. Tell you what you need to know to help find her. Plus, more breaking news. President Trump expected to take steps today to end the Department of Education. The Crop 4 Morning News starts now.
Still ahead on the Crop 4 Morning News, a child thrown off a horse after a woman walks up to the animal and allegedly yanks on its tail. Plus, big problems with California's new bar exam causing panic among law students, why lawmakers are now calling for a full review.
We got a bird whistling in our ears, singing a song that's gonna hand us Smokey.
On the murders?
Dope. Enough to bury him. Let's roll. You in?
And he may be a familiar face if you like a good drama series. Up next, award-winning actor Rich Ting is in studio this morning talking about his latest projects. You don't want to miss it.
I can't even imagine what it would be like for immigrants that are ripped away from their children, from their family.
Developing on the Crop 4 Morning News, a protest erupts over the possibility of a former women's prison being used as an immigration detention center. We spoke with a former inmate about the abuse she says she suffered at that facility. Plus, this new sketch of the person Hillsborough police believes shot one of their officers. We have the latest on the search.
Young people are at high risk. If we can get good information out to them, we think we can prevent some tragedies from happening.
Plus, preventing fentanyl overdoses, how one North Bay family turned their tragedy into hope. Breaking now on the Crop 4 Morning News, a high-speed chase overnight in Oakland ends with at least 2 people in handcuffs. What we're learning so far.
American people don't want to see immigration be weaponized.
The courts are finally stepping up and saying enough is enough.
Plus, a sigh of relief. Visas restored for international students in the U.S. after a stunning reversal by the Trump administration. The reaction from Bay Area students. And the body of Pope Francis now in his final resting place. We're live from Vatican City as the world mourns.
And they hit me and they told me to open the cash register.
Right now in the Crop 4 Morning News, a terrifying encounter for a gas station clerk who's robbed overnight for the second day in a row. Plus, embattled San Mateo County Sheriff Christina Corpus defending her decision to rehire her alleged boyfriend as a reserve deputy.
With the 11th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the San Francisco 49ers select Michael Williams, defensive end, Georgia.
And the 49ers making their first pick in the draft. We're going to introduce you to the newest member of the Red and Gold. Crop 4 Morning News starts now.
We're staying on top of the latest out of Southern California. Those deadly flames killing at least 12 people. The LA County Medical Examiner says 5 of those deaths were tied to the massive Palisades fire. The Eaton fire burning in Altadena caused 6 deaths. Fire officials say at least 10,000 structures were destroyed. The Ventura County Sheriff's Office adds another man died while trying to escape the 28-acre Olivas fire. And take a look at this map on your screen showing a ring of fire in Southern California. Right now, CAL FIRE reports there are 6 larger blazes burning thousands of acres and structures. You can also see smaller red dots on your screen there representing a lot of smaller fires. Here's the latest on the larger fires that we know of. The Archer fire is responsible for 19 acres of damage so far. No containment on this blaze yet. Thankfully, crews stopped forward progress on this fire. It sparked Friday morning near Granada Hills. All evacuation orders and warnings in that area have been lifted. And meanwhile, the Lydia fire has burned nearly 400 acres and now sits at 98% containment. Crews also stopped forward progress on this fire. It started Wednesday afternoon near Acton in the Antelope Valley, about 50 miles north of the city of Los Angeles. Our LA sister station KTLA posting this image showing large plumes of smoke coming from the Angeles National Forest. And in the Sylmar area, CAL FIRE says the Hearst fire burned more than 700 acres. It's now at 70% containment. This is video of crews dumping fire retardant in that area to get the blaze under control. It started Tuesday evening, forcing evacuation orders. And now to the deadly Eaton fire burning in Altadena. CAL FIRE says this is now the second largest fire in LA County, burning 14,000 acres. It's 3% contained. This sparked Tuesday evening while winds in the area were gusting at more than 100 miles per hour. And finally, an update to the largest blaze in the area. This is the Palisades fire, and new scary video shows what appears to be a fire tornado spinning over a mountainside there. CAL FIRE data says these massive flames burned more than 21,000 acres. It's now 8% contained, more than 150,000 Los Angeles County residents remain under evacuation orders. Well, this may be tough to look at, but this is what some people in LA County are waking up to this morning. Homes burned down, cars charred, and businesses turned to ash. Reporter Alina Abovian spoke to neighbors in Malibu dealing with this devastation. And turning now to a live look at Vatican City, hundreds of thousands of people filling St. Peter's Square to bid a solemn farewell to Pope Francis. Earlier today, his coffin arrived at St. Mary Major, the Pope's final resting place. Dina Bear is outside St. Peter's Square where thousands of people witnessed his funeral.
And many of them surprised to see the makeshift Pope mobile.
It's 9:03 and other Bay Area news that we're following us. What's going on in Oakland? Police have just arrested 4 people for targeting 6 gas stations and convenience stores. In just over 2 hours, you can see they drove vehicles into the storefronts and made off with stuff. This crime spree all started about 5 o'clock in the morning yesterday.
Police say the group rammed through the front doors of these shops. Officers were able to stop them thanks to witnesses and some technology they employed. Crimes like these have become somewhat common in Oakland, despite numbers from the city that the rates have actually gone down. In fact, Police Chief Floyd Mitchell says crimes are being underreported.
I understand that if you've been a victim of a crime, it may not feel like crime is going down, but please know that our officers are deeply committed to investigating and solving your cases each and every day.
Well, the Police Association says that understaffing in the department has led to more property crimes and theft.
Some businesses have actually started to take this matter into their own hands, and they've gone to great expense to put in like barriers so that this doesn't happen to them. But in one case, a worker at one of those stores decided he would work, and because he did after the first robbery, he was there for the second robbery.
Yeah. The very next morning, as you can imagine, he's scared, he's fed up. We have KRON 4's Will Tran out in Alameda County now with more on what happened. Will.
Breaking overnight, this new video appears to show a high-speed chase in Oakland. It happened early this morning around 3:30 a.m. on I-880 heading northbound just south of 5th and Embarcadero. You can see CHP deputies chasing down a vehicle and arresting the driver and passenger. The CHP says that car was stolen in Fremont.
Now, live from the Bay Area's local news station, KRON 4 News at 10. Begins with breaking news.
And the breaking news that we're starting with at this hour is this shocking video. It appears to show a kidnapping in broad daylight.
Yeah, so take a look. Oakland police released the video just this morning, and in it you can see a woman struggling to get away as she's pulled into a car and then the driver takes off.
Oakland police say this happened Tuesday afternoon, 3:30 on 98th Avenue near Elmhurst Community Prep School. Apparently, a man attempted to hit a woman with his car. Then he got out of that car and attacked the woman. And then there you see him dragging her and putting her inside the car. She was yelling for help the whole time, apparently.
Yeah, the suspect's car was recovered in East Oakland and determined to be stolen. Neither the suspect nor the victim have been located at this point. The victim is described as a black female between 20 and 22 years old, weighs about 140 pounds, appears to be about 5 feet 5 inches tall. She was last seen in that video wearing black and blue locks and was seen wearing a light-colored hoodie and light-colored jeans.
The suspect is described as a black male, 20 to 24 years old, about 5'5", a thin build, a short, twisted hair, and a scar on his left cheek. And he was last wearing a black hoodie with a white logo, and then blue jeans and white shoes.
Anyone with information is asked to contact police. We're going to keep you updated on this as the search continues. Breaking news on the Chron 4 Morning News, a tragedy near our nation's capital. This morning, officials announcing no survivors after a plane carrying 64 people collided with an Army helicopter while it was attempting to land at Reagan National Airport. This video shows that flash of light, the moment of the collision. The president addressing the nation this morning just moments ago.
I speak to you this morning in an hour of anguish. On behalf of the First Lady, myself, and 340 million Americans, our hearts are shattered alongside yours.
I haven't heard much. I got off work and I came straight here to be with my friends.
This morning, we all share in a profound sense of grief.
We don't believe there are any survivors.
A live look now at the Potomac River as crews are continuing their recovery mission this morning. We're breaking down everything you need to know.
Now, live from the Bay Area's local news station, Chron 4 News at 9 begins with breaking news.
And we're on top of that breaking news near the nation's capital right now. Families in mourning. The American Airlines passenger jet collided with an Army Black Hawk helicopter. Everyone on board both aircrafts was killed. That's 67 people, and we are continuing our live coverage. I'm Daria Folsom.
And I'm James Fletcher. First responders there on the Potomac confirming 60 passengers and 4 crew were on that commercial airplane. 3 soldiers were on the Black Hawk helicopter. That crash happening a little before 9 o'clock Eastern time last night as that passenger plane was inbound, coming in for a landing at Reagan National Airport there in D.C. This is video from the Earth Cam there at the Kennedy Center, the observation deck. It's right across the Potomac from Reagan National. And here you'll see that flash of light, the moment of impact there, and the debris falling into the Potomac. Right now, first responders are there on the water. Flights in and out of that airport resumed at about 8 o'clock this morning, our time.
And we will have much more live coverage on what's going on and bring you the very latest. But first, we want to get a look at the weather and traffic this Thursday morning. John. All right, thank you, Raina. 9:02 and back to our nation's capital. You're looking live here at the Potomac and the wreckage of the Black Hawk helicopter that went down after crashing with a American Airlines jet. 67 people were killed. At last check, our live reporter in D.C. had said that 27 bodies so far had been recovered from the water.
Yeah, that plane coming in again from Wichita, carrying a number of people on board. We heard from the president earlier that people from various nations were represented on that plane. We know that there was members of a figure skating team, several teams as a matter of fact, along with friends and family. And those families being notified this morning, that plane crashing as it was coming in to land at 8:55 there at Reagan National Airport. And President Trump addressed the nation this morning in the wake of the disaster. And here's a portion of what he had to say.
On behalf of the First Lady, myself, and 340 million Americans, our hearts are shattered alongside yours, and our prayers are with you now and in the days to come. We'll find out how this disaster occurred, and we'll ensure that nothing like this ever happens again. The FAA and the NTSB and the U.S. military will be carrying out a systematic and comprehensive investigation.
Now, the president went on to say that previous administrations' DEI policies could have played a role in this tragic crash. Of course, none of that has been verified yet.
I put safety first. Obama, Biden, and the Democrats put policy first. The FAA's diversity push includes focus on hiring people with severe intellectual and psychiatric disabilities. That is amazing. And then it says FAA says people with severe disabilities are most underrepresented segment of the workforce, and they want them in, and they want them, they can be air traffic controllers. I don't think so.
As you saw live on our air, that went on for about an hour, the press conference where the president spoke, and he said that maybe in an hour or so we would get the names of some of the people who lost their lives in that tragic accident.
So we have our Washington correspondent Vinay Simlot. He's reporting from the airport this morning on where the investigation stands.
And like we said, that we are waiting to find out who was on the plane. We do know that there were some ice skaters, and we actually, there was a reporter at the airport who saw some family and friends of some of the victims going to the airport.
Yeah, and had a talk with him as he was rushing to find out more information.
Tell me again, sir, who was on the flight that you know of? My daughter's best friend and her mom. Ice skating. She's an ice skater.
Based in Kansas, yeah.
Yeah. She was on a athletic trip. She was on an athletic trip. Yeah.
And based in Kansas, yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
And what do you think of what you've heard?
I haven't heard much. I got off work and I came straight here to be with my friends. So.
Yeah. A time of great distress.
Yeah. Thank you.
Horrible and affecting so many people to have lost 67 lives in this crash. It affected a lot of people who were flying as well as they shut down Reagan National, and flights resumed there at 8 a.m. our time.
Yeah, we have KRON 4's Joey Horta. He's standing by live at Oakland International, talking with travelers this morning as everybody's processing what happened. Joey.
Right, thank you, Joey. It's been almost 16 years since we had a major U.S. aircraft crash here in the U.S.
Yeah, at least by a U.S. carrier. Now, the recent deadliest crashes, we'll go through the list. So there was that 2009 crash. That one was on February 12th of 2009 near Buffalo, New York. 45 passengers and 4 crew members killed there by Colgan Air. That was flight 3407. It was from Newark Liberty International Airport when it suffered some mechanical issues. There was some icing on the wings. The NTSB launched their investigation and released the report a year later, identifying the pilot's response to that situation as a probable cause for the crash. And that included fatigue, impairing both the captain and the first officer's performance. Families of the victims took to Congress to enact more safety regulations.
And then here at home, in July 6th of 2013, 291 passengers and 16 crew were beginning their final descent to SFO after a 10-hour flight from Seoul, South Korea, and they ended up crashing on the runway there. That was Asiana flight 214, went into the seawall, and the aircraft spun out of control, burst into flames. 182 of the 304 people on board were injured, and 3 people were killed. The NTSB ruled that crash was likely caused by pilot error and an overly complicated system installed in the plane by Boeing, which the pilots did not know how to use properly. That led to a change in how aircraft rescue personnel responded to emergencies as well. And then we take a look here at the most recent crash, which happened about 9 o'clock last night, and that's D.C. time, when the chopper and the plane collided over the Potomac on landing as they were approaching the Reagan National Airport. And you can see that's the wreckage of the chopper. So they're investigating the wreckage, as the NTSB does. And as the president said, it takes a long time, usually at least a year, for them to decide what happened. In the meantime, all we can do is just have so much feeling and sympathy and mourn those who are lost, who lost their lives, 67 people, and we're waiting to hear more about those people this morning.